Isn't it the most awkward thing when you hit record? It's like, what do? Do we say, "Hi, welcome to the Bob and Katie Show"?
I was waiting for you. You always say that.
I don't know. I just feel like I don't want to say that every time. I don't want to be like a joke. So, but you know what? I don't know what else to say. So, welcome to the Bob and Katie Show.
I'm Katie.
And I'm Bob. That's so corny.
Thank you for listening.
I guess we're going to start out. This is New Parents Part 1. We're going to be talking about our process of becoming new parents. And we're going to start the show out by answering a social media question. And
I think you're allowed to say Facebook. You
Facebook.
Can say Facebook.
It's a Facebook question. This question comes from Aaron in Texas.
Why you gotta say from Texas? Well, you just say his name's Aaron.
Because I'm proud that somebody's listening to us from Texas.
True.
I'll cut this out. I'll cut it out. We got people listening from Texas.
Continue.
Okay. So, Aaron from Texas writes, I have a question. What has been your hardest parenting challenge for you so far?
You go first.
No, I'm going to let you go first.
No, you go first.
I read the question. You go first.
I know for me personally, and this is just right now, I'm sure it will change as time goes on, but right now my biggest challenge is my time management, just trying to care for 2 almost 4-month-old babies on my own all day and be efficient at changing diapers and feedings and trying to, get things done around the house. And it's nice when I have time left over to do something that I enjoy. That doesn't really happen though. But yeah, time management I think is my biggest challenge as of right now.
What do you think's going to happen? Like, what do you expect your big challenges of the future?
Well, they eventually become teenagers, and then God knows what your challenges will be then. We have a boy and a girl.
Oh, dear Lord, we do.
So,
we do have a girl, and I'm going to have to kill some
She's going to start her period one day and be hormonal, and teenage girls are just horrible. And boys, I don't even know what.
So, when Reagan, which is our daughter, eventually becomes a teenager, do we let her know that we talked about her menstrual cycles?
No, not at all.
On the podcast?
Not at all.
Hey, Reagan, did you know that people in Texas were listening to us talk about your menstrual cycle well before you actually had it?
Jeez, Mom, Dad, you're such a dork.
So you know what?
So what is your biggest challenge? Because I think we'll have different answers.
I'm going to stray away from the whole challenge thing, but you know what's been aggravating for me?
No, that was the question. Answer the question.
I'll answer the question the way I want to answer the question. This has been my challenge of not being rude to people or anything. What gives a cashier the right to tell me how unhealthy Red Bulls are?
That has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
What are you talking about? Since we've had these kids, to start with, we fed them every 2 hours. I had a job where I work 40 hours a week. Then I got a promotion, which thank God. I mean, I'm blessed with.
You
my
are
job.
Going off on a tangent right now.
I'm not going off on a tangent.
Stay on topic.
Listen to me.
You're not answering the question. Are you trying
to
avoid answering the question?
It's going to circle around. If you just let me talk, you'll get it.
Okay, finish.
So I got a promotion, and now I work 48 hours a week. My promotion put me 30 minutes away. So on top of the 8 extra hours a week, I've got 5 hours of drive time. I don't get any sleep. That's my challenge. My challenge is I do not get enough sleep, and I have to survive off of Red Bulls, and every time I buy one, the cashier goes, "Do you know how bad these things are for you?"
Remember that old guy? We were on vacation, and we were checking out at Walmart. It was an old guy. He was in one of the motorized shopping carts.
Oh.
And his cart was full of Sun Drops, 2 liters of Sun Drop. And he made a comment. We were buying cheesecake. We were on vacation and wanted some cheesecake, so we were buying cheesecake.
And Red Bull. Was I buying Red Bull?
I think you may have been. He made a comment.
Sugar-free Red Bull, mind you.
He made a comment to us. I can't remember exactly what he said.
About how unhealthy Red Bulls are. And I'm like, listen, old man, You got a cart full of Skittles and Sundrop. You do not need to be talking to me.
Yeah, and he couldn't. I mean, he couldn't walk. He obviously. I mean, yeah, he was old, but you know, he was not in the best of health.
Just so we're clear, I wasn't making fun of a handicapped person. This was one of those people on the carts that don't need to be on the carts. You know what I'm talking about. You've seen them out in public where you're like, hey.
He just didn't have a place making a comment to us about our purchases. It's, you know, he didn't know us. So.
Absolutely. So we've gone on this 5-minute tangent.
Yeah, we're wasting precious minutes here.
Thanks, Aaron, for asking your question.
Yes, thank you very much.
And Aaron actually found out about us through a podcast community on Facebook. You can check out his if you're into video games. He does a podcast called, you know what? It was under notifications. It was Retro Obscure. So I guess I'm going to check that out tonight. I just admitted that I haven't listened to it yet. But he added me to the group, so I'm going to go check it out. It's about video games. I'm excited. So where do we get started at? What are we going to talk about first?
Well, this podcast is obviously we're going to be talking about parenting and our experiences. And I guess because most of the people that listen to our podcast are people that do know us personally and know some of the experiences that we've gone through. But there are a lot of people that do not know us personally and don't know anything about us or our kids. So I guess we're just going to give sort of a very brief history of how we got to be where we are today with 4-month-old twins. By
brief, you mean like 4 or 5 episodes? Because let me tell you what, it's not a short story.
No, I mean, okay, start at the beginning. It took us 7 years of trying to become pregnant.
Unsuccessfully. Well, we lost some babies, and we're not going to talk about that any more than just that subject because it is, it sucks. And for any of you that have gone through that, it's not a good situation, but we prevailed and we came out strong, and we're just going to start after that. It took us 7 years. I probably shouldn't have even brought it up. Let's just start at the 7-year mark.
Yeah, basically our experience of having children is much different than the average person. I'm not going to say most people.
You mean the 14-year-old that gets pregnant? Is that much different from that?
Yeah.
Good Lord, everybody's pregnant nowadays. And, that was the hard part. Is like trying and knowing that we were good people, I'm not saying that some people don't deserve kids.
No,
I'm just
some
saying,
people do not deserve kids.
You're right.
Point blank, some people are stupid and do not need to reproduce. There's no getting around it. Everybody knows it. You're only saying what everybody's thinking.
So obviously we've hit a sore spot with Katie. But you know what we're talking about. You've seen these people out in public yelling at their kids, And we don't know what it's like yet to have a 4 or 5-year-old. Maybe I want to yell at them too, but hopefully I have enough common sense not to act that way. But some people don't need kids, and those are the people that get blessed with 4 or 5 of them. And we tried for a really long time, but we're not going to gripe on those. We're going to talk about our blessings and how far we've come. So we're
7 years. Took us 7 years of trying. Fast forward, September of 2013, we started seeing a fertility doctor.
Really? It was September of 2013, so it took us a year? I guess that's about right, because you have to be pregnant for 9 months. Okay, I'm going to cut that out. We're recording with a new program now, and if I don't like things I say, I'll just edit them out later.
So, before I was interrupted, September of 2013, we started seeing a fertility doctor through, various doctor referrals and whatnot. We got to the fertility doctor. And for those of you who have never had the experience of a initial consultation visit with a fertility doctor when you're trying to become pregnant, it is a very...
it's weird.
Yeah, it's really weird. Because basically you walk in the door and they want to know every single little detail about your downstairs and your sex life and all the good stuff.
Just so we're clear... Katie refers to the pubic area as downstairs. So throughout this process, if you hear her say downstairs, that doesn't mean the apartment below us. That means the pubic area of the person in question that we're speaking of at that point in time, not the room below us. Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Can you guys hear that motorcycle that just cranked up? Man, that's the only bad thing about like trying to record like in your house in an apartment. It is 1:45 in the morning, and there is somebody outside revving up a motorcycle. Go ahead and talk. I'm gonna put on the headphones and see if you can actually hear it. Oh yeah. We might have to cut that out. Okay, go ahead and talk.
So our first visit, we go in the door, and normal doctor stuff. They take my weight and blood pressure and all that good stuff they need to know. And we fill out paper after paper after paper. All these forms you have to fill out when you go to the doctor. And then we go in the room for the consultation, and I guess it was a nurse was asking us additional questions. After I had filled out like 10 forms. What are you doing? Like, I feel like I'm talking about myself here. Like, you are absolutely not contributing whatsoever. And you just pick up your phone and start playing on your phone. Like,
they can't see that I'm playing on my phone. We're recording. It's audio.
I can see it, though.
Oh, my God. Okay. Hang on. All right. I'm looking at you. Please continue.
Yes, he was there for the process, even though he may not act like it.
Why are you yelling? Okay, go ahead.
That's just...
Trust me, I was there for the process. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, this is taking way longer than it was supposed to.
It's fine. All right, so we were talking about
questions, blah, 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 blah. The doctor's office, like, he was a big Elvis fan. There's, like, Elvis stuff everywhere. Oh, my God, yeah,
that's right.
The doctor was really awesome. But, anyway, the nurse was, like, asking us all these questions. I mean, very... in-depth personal questions.
He used a lot of profanity.
He did.
I mean, like, just blatant profanity. I mean, like, he wasn't like, oh, F this and F that. But, I mean, like, when he was having a conversation, he would, like, just drop cuss words in. And you know what? It made me comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, not that I so much like...
I felt like he was
it's not
person.
I mean, I don't really use that much profanity. It's not like I enjoyed hearing the profanity, but it kind of, because we were really nervous. We were really, really nervous and just terrified. And so it kind of made it a little more relaxed atmosphere. But he wasn't the one asking the questions. It was it was a nurse.
I don't think I was that nervous. I don't think I was that nervous.
You were nervous.
I wasn't nervous to an extreme point until I had to get tested, and then it was like, oh crap, what if it's me? But I think it's a lot easier for the man in that situation because there's one test and it's pass or fail.
Yeah.
And once you get past that, well, I digress. Let's go back to where it started. We'll reach that point eventually.
Well, it's just a ton of questions, but I will never forget, it was one of the last questions. Like I said, after we had been there for a while and filled out so much paperwork and answered questions, and it was a lady, it was a nurse asking us questions. She looked at you and was like,
it wasn't a nurse. Okay, so there was the doctor. She was a doctor, but she was like learning, I guess. Like, she had to be there with him because she's going to be doing that.
Okay, so she was a student doctor. I'm so sorry.
Whatever it's called, I don't know the terminology.
That really doesn't matter.
It doesn't. Well, she wasn't a nurse. Like, okay, go ahead. What did she ask us?
It's like not even funny anymore.
Your face is turning so red.
You've drugged this out to a ridiculous length. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. I'm done.
Okay, go ahead. What did she ask?
She asked you if you had a vasectomy. Ha ha, so freaking funny.
How often do people come in there that have a vasectomy that try to have kids and that's an issue? I
don't know. You made me lose my train of thought.
So what else did they ask us? So they asked us about the vasectomy. Oh God, you turned so red because they started asking us like how frequently we were having. How did they phrase it? They wanted to know how often we were having sex. Because I think the point was, you can't get pregnant if you're not having sex. What did they ask if we were?
I don't remember exactly. I remember her asking if we had the vasectomy because we looked at each other and laughed, and I told that lady, I was like, I hope that if we had said yes, you would have told us to get out and stop wasting your time.
Yeah.
And which made her laugh.
But yeah,
And I asked her, I was like, has anyone ever been here? And answered yes. Like, oh, I completely and totally forgot.
That was that one time that I let that
I
doctor.
must have had a vasectomy,
You know what? I completely slipped my mind. It was like 2 years ago. I had someone snip my balls, and I completely forgot about it.
And her response is it must have happened for it to be on the questionnaire. Kind of like how there's the tag on the hairdryer that tells you not to use it in the shower. Like, they only put that on there because somebody did it. So, somewhere along the way, at some point in time, someone was trying to get pregnant and went to the fertility doctor and was like, oh, yeah, that's right, I did have a vasectomy.
I think we should remove all those tags and just let the problems weed themselves out.
I do too. But anyway,
it was a good 15 minutes of uncomfortable questions, I think. Just really.
Oh yeah, the whole visit was really awkward.
In-depth, personal questions.
So if you've never had that experience, count yourself as fortunate, because it is very, I want to say humbling. I don't know if that's not really the word I want to use, but you can have no secrets from the fertility doctor. They want to know all the details. And then once we got to the point, we had to go through lots of testing. I think actually that day we went for all kinds of blood tests. We had to have our chromosomes checked, and
they wanted to find out if you were a man.
They had to make sure I didn't have any male chromosomes. And knowing full well that I'm a girl, I was still like, oh, what if something shows up? What? Something's wrong with my chromosomes. And they're like, oh, you got this little male chromosome. It was not. It was completely normal. I'm completely female.
You had so many tests you had to do.
Yeah, you had one little tube of blood that they had to take from you. And they took, I think it was 13 tubes of blood from me just that day. Just that day alone.
I had to do the sperm test.
I'm talking about just that day. That was a different day.
Okay.
Just that day when we got blood work done. Yeah, you had one tube and I had 13. It was so much. They took so many tubes of blood from me that I started to feel a little woozy there at the end. The phlebotomist was asking me, if I was feeling okay. I started to feel a little lightheaded because it was so much. They tested me for everything. Thousands of dollars in testing. But anyway.
And then I had to do the test, which was horrifying. That's when I got nervous because I was like, what if the problem is me, And I've never been put in that situation before where I've had to what is the word? It's not donate. Contribute. I don't know.
Contribute a specimen.
I had to give them a specimen of of my manhood. So I was scared. I was like, what if? I don't want to have to go. I want to have kids with you, and I don't.
You're shooting blanks.
Yeah.
Your swimmers are swimming in circles.
I got that fat-free mayonnaise. So. I asked him, I was like, so I got to go in a room or something? Because, I've only heard about it on TV, and you don't have to do that now. You can actually, you can do it at home, and as long as you can get there in 45 minutes, you're good to go.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, you put it in a cup, and they're like, stick it between your legs on the drive to
keep it warm.
Keep it warm.
So that's where it's at anyway.
Can I tell you what I did with it? Nothing weird. It was... Okay, that came out wrong. All right, so I was nervous. Oh my god, I didn't want to take the bag. They gave me a brown paper bag with a cup in it. It was like, do what you got to do. So I went. I was actually at my parents' house because we lived an hour and a half away, so I had to go to my parents' house because it was only 30 minutes away, which was crazy embarrassing. They weren't in the room or anything, but it is what it is. So I had this brown paper bag that I put it in afterwards, and I was nervous about going in and going, hey, so here's my semen. How do you bring that up? I just walk into a building.
I've never been in that situation before.
I drew this big Japanese anime smiley face on the paper bag, and I walk into the doctor's office, which wasn't the doctor's office that we went to get the.
No, it was like a lab.
Yeah, it's like a lab, and I walked in. And the lady looks at me, and she doesn't have a chance to say anything. And I just, I hold the bag up and just drop it onto the desk, and I said, boom! and there's, this smiley face looking at her. And she's like, what's in that bag? And I was like, what you think's in that bag? And she laughs. I guess my thought process was, if I'm going to be embarrassed, I'm taking everybody down with me. Like, I was loud about it. Like, it was kind of embarrassing. So.
Yeah, like there's no modesty left when you're going through this process.
Oh God,
no
yeah,
modesty whatsoever.
Poke and prod. For the woman, they didn't poke and prod me. I mean, they just ask you the most insane, intimate things about yourself and about what you do with your significant other. So, moving on to, we got the results back, and I was freaking out. I was like, what if I got dead sperm? What if it's no good?
Yeah.
They're swimming in circles. There's something wrong with them. It's me, because you can't really fix that. I think.
There's really not much you can do.
So the doctor starts talking to us, and the student's in the room again. And why was she sitting beside me?
I don't remember.
Because you were sitting like against the other wall, and I'm sitting like right here beside this student woman.
No, I was sitting beside you.
No, you were sitting beside me, but there was like a corner. It was like we were in the corner of a room, and I was on one side of the corner, you on the other. And this she wasn't a nurse. I guess we covered that a few minutes ago.
I think you made that very clear.
But she was there learning, and she was sitting right beside me. And the doctor goes, "Okay, well, we've got the results back for your sperm test." And there's like this long pause in my mind. I'm like, "Oh God, here we go."
Yeah, I was on pins and needles waiting
and
for
then
this.
he looks at me and he says, the normal male has between 20 and 40 million sperm. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, Jesus.
But you have 0.
You have 8 sperm. Like, and they're having a hard time without their friends getting to the egg. But no, he looks at me and he goes, you have 120 million. And without thinking, I just turned my head slightly to the right and looked at this lady sitting beside me and was like, you might want to move over. Her face turned so red.
That poor lady. That poor lady.
Oh, God, it was awesome. So, there wasn't really much that happened after that. They wanted to start us on...
More testing, procedures, all that good stuff. It
eventually wound down to that medicine. What was it?
Clomid.
Clomid. And the UI, which is basically where...
no, we didn't do that.
I know we didn't do that. I'm talking about
IUI.
What it is. Yeah, IUI. So
intrauterine insemination.
How that happens is they take... Will you let me tell the story? Let me tell the story.
No?
So they take another specimen from me, and they basically, for the sake of the conversation, take a turkey baster and make sure they put it in you to make sure it's working. And we asked them if we could just take the Clomid and just try to work it out for ourselves. Because after that, it was going to be what is that expensive one?
IVF. In vitro fertilization.
That thing was like $20,000.
Yeah, we didn't really discuss that too much.
That's because we weren't going to do it, because we're poor. We can't afford $20,000.
Yeah, we didn't get that far, thank goodness. We had just talked about the IUI, and that was going to be the plan. Was to, and he informed us that it probably wouldn't work the first time. That to plan on doing it, I think like 3 times. But yeah, we asked if we could just try it on our own, and well, to make a long story short, 1 round, and now we have twins.
That's not entirely accurate. We went for the ultrasound. That's how we're gonna wrap this up. We got pregnant. You took a test, right?
Yeah, I did 1 round of Clomid, and then we a couple weeks later.
So I think this was one of the first times I ever heard Katie cuss in front of someone that wasn't myself.
Well, we had a positive pregnancy test, and we had some lab work done, and we went at 7 weeks pregnant. We went to have our first ultrasound done at the fertility doctor's office to confirm the pregnancy, make sure it was a viable pregnancy, make sure there was a heartbeat and all that good stuff.
So we went to get the ultrasound, and Katie does not use profanity at all. I'm the potty mouth in the group. And we get there, and she does the ultrasound, right? And the lady goes...
I couldn't see the screen.
She couldn't see the screen.
I couldn't see the screen from my point of view.
So she says this. She goes, "This is baby A." And me, I'm like, okay, I didn't understand what baby A meant. But Katie's sitting there, and she just goes, "Oh, crap." But she didn't say crap. She dropped the S-bomb. And I'm like, what? What is going on right now?
I was
And
in
then,
shock. I know that they only start assigning letters when there is more than one.
So, and there was a baby A, and then there was a baby B.
And then I thought it was a joke. I asked that lady, I was like, is this a joke? Are you playing a joke on me right now? Like, I was upset because I thought it was
Sure.
a joke. I did not think it was for real.
So there you go. We found out we had twins, and that's all we have time for today.
Oh.
We're out of time. So come back next week, and we're going to talk about where we went from there. And it gets a lot more exciting as we go along, especially when the babies are born. So thank you guys out there for listening. All of our people in Texas, all of our people in Australia, the 2% of you that listen to us.
And of course, all of our North Carolinians.
Our Wilmington fellow brethren.
Wilmingtonians.
Wilmingtonians. I don't know if that's right, but we're using it from now on. Wilmingtonians. You hear that? You're Wilmingtonians. Do we have a sign off catchphrase?
I don't think so.
Isn't it? That's all, folks. No, it's a cartoon. What is ours?
I don't know.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.